Taking a minute. Okay, we're live. Yay! It's official. Now I'm going to make sure that it's live on Instagram. Hopefully it says checking connection, so we'll see. So as people are getting on, let us know that you're watching. Say hi in the comments. If you're watching on LinkedIn or Facebook, let us know that you're here. You have to give StreamYard access so for it to like see your name and then be able to tell us here in the studio in the comments. Otherwise, it will not tell us who you are, but we'd love to be able to see that you are watching and be able to give you a shout out. So thanks for joining, everybody. We'll give people, this is always that annoying thing, a chance to hop on and making sure that this is, there we go. Okay, so it should alert people. So this is the second time that Hayley Santell has been on our show before here in the Revolutionary Leadership Collective Facebook group, but also we're broadcasting this on my Facebook page and LinkedIn page. So tell us where you're watching from. And so we should have people joining from both places and maybe even on Instagram too. So Hayley, you are somebody that I think I just met through like mutual friends and through your shop. And so maybe I even like stumbled upon it. I'm trying, through Kirsten, I think. And yeah. So I see somebody's watching live. Let us know that you're here. So Hayley and I both went to Mizzou and I think at the same time, but we didn't know each other. So we're both Tigers, rawr. And woo. And that's coming from somebody who didn't know that our football team was doing so well this year. My dad was like, "No, they're good." And I was like, "Really?" So correct me if we're wrong, but that's what my dad told me. So I want to hear, and I want other people to really hear about your story, Hayley, because it's a very like unique job that you have and organization and like mission. And I'm very into anything that's like ethical and revolutionary. And I think that very much like Maddie Apparel and Slow Motion Goods is that. So tell us about the origin. How did you decide to start this company? And what is the mission?
Okay, so first, thank you, Hayley, for having me again. It's a pleasure always to have a conversation with you. So I'm happy to be here. And hi, anyone who's watching. So I started Maddie Apparel about 10 years ago. And the real reason why I started it was after learning about how underwear is the most needed and underdonated item of clothing. It's the only item that we as a society can't donate used. So people don't think to buy it new to then donate it. So it tops the most urgent needs list at pretty much every organization serving women, but it's also the number one most needed item for women or men and youth as well. So around this time, 10 years ago, a family member of mine told me that she was once a victim of domestic violence. And upon researching, how can I help? What are some big needs? How can I immerse myself into this cause? I learned that underwear was their most urgent need. So obviously not water, not food, not shelter, but their most urgent clothing basic need. So kind of a light bulb went off. Yeah. These things tied together. That's how it all started. I don't have a degree in fashion. Like Hayley's saying, I studied journalism and fine arts. So I have I had some help with those degrees. Helped me do a lot of things, my website, my branding. I do all the design for our products. But basically, I wanted to create this company, Maddie Apparel, that would not just donate a pair of underwear for every item sold, which is what the main thing we do, but I wanted to make sure it made a difference in every way. So Maddie stands for Make a Difference. That's our general concept, like our umbrella factor. So we pay a living wage to all of our cutters, our sewers, our store employees, everyone on our team associated with our brand. They get paid a living wage, and we're part of just 3% of the world's fashion brands to do that, which is
3%. Wow.
I know. It's insane. And we also source and use only sustainable and overrun fabrics. So by sustainable materials, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm referring to like organic cotton, bamboo. We source the world's first and only plastic-free vegan leather. And so no animal, no plastic. It's the first of its kind in the world. And so those are the sustainable materials we source, but we also take the waste from larger companies and we use that waste, that fabric waste, to make a couple products as well. So those are kind of our three factors. All areas we focus on making a difference, going down to compostable shipping labels and just,
Hmm.
our values and the way we treat each other and that kind of thing. So in a nutshell, that's it. I reopened the name of our flagship store in Kansas City to Slow Motion Goods. So we still carry Maddie Apparel in there and in the airport and online, other wholesale, but Slow Motion Goods is a concept for conscious consumers, basically. So we also reclaim used items, put new life back into them so that we're not just creating new, we're also revamping what already exists in the world.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Now, the 3% again, you're one of the world's 3% that does exactly what again?
To pay a living wage.
That's insane.
It's
The
so
paid
insane.
living wage.
I
Wow.
know. So, what's interesting is the cutting and sewing industry is can take someone up to 10 years to be an expert in this industry. It sometimes it's requires more than a college degree to do a job that pays less than somebody who works at McDonald's. So somebody who works at McDonald's that doesn't have to have any experience and could be a great job, but somebody who works in the cut and sew industry, they're usually paid less than even minimum wage to do a
Mhm.
job that requires extreme experience.
That is crazy. Yeah, because I don't know how to do that at all. To me, it's a very specialized skill. Like I literally couldn't sew a button on anything, And I once
We
tried
wouldn't
to
get
like
by without them. Like the shirt
right.
you're wearing, the shirt I'm wearing, everything
Mhm.
all of us wear every day. We wouldn't exist without these people. It's kind of like teachers. Like, I mean, we'd all have no education if it weren't for teachers. Like, we'd all have no clothing if it weren't for the people that make our clothing that we wear every day.
Right. Yeah, it's very specialized. That's fascinating. Well, I love that you do that. And it makes me like happy to be able to like see that store and purchase things there. Like I've gotten bachelorette gifts for friends and things. And like you said, it's not just like intimates anymore. Like it used to be more like underwear and lingerie, bras, things like that. But now you have like joggers, sweatshirts, men's clothing also, and leather goods, art pieces, things like that. Right.
Yes, exactly. And that came a little bit to do with budgets, as I'm
Mm.
sure, anyone on here or you would understand. It's hard to start a business. You pretty much have a little bit of capital maybe or none
Mhm.
or getting by with whatever you raised yourself. So since always, I wanted everything we made to be what we call an ethical basic. So it's
Mm.
that you can keep in your life forever, which is also helps us eliminate waste or keep our waste low and keep our consumer waste low,
Mhm.
as opposed to creating trends like many fast fashion companies. Every quarter, there's a new trend, something that you're going to wear once and throw away. We
Mhm.
create staple items that you will wear forever. But I couldn't launch those all in the beginning. So,
Mhm.
started with underwear. That's all I could afford. Then started launching into a new product every 6 months or year,
Mhm.
and even minimal colors, that kind of thing. So it's helped us kind of remain profitable, but also to keep our waist low.
That is amazing because that's a huge problem in the fashion industry as well. I mean, like people talk about how like Shein and a lot of Amazon products and um, things like what Zara and Forever 21, things like that. People just throw away these items rather than letting them either get recycled or people just choosing to purchase things that do cost a little bit more, but they're made more ethically, where people are paid fair wages. The items are not made of just like plastic that's not going to compost or even wear well very long. I'm somebody who likes to keep my clothes for a long time.
Me too. Keep it simple.
Yeah, I'm like, well, this is almost 10 years old, I think. Um, and whoever sewed this and made well, made it well. So that's good.
That's
Oh,
good. They're doing
yeah.
what they say.
Yeah, I guess so. Whoop, my phone just fell. So that's awesome. So talk a little bit about also how do you like manage that cut and sew team as their leader and manager? I'm sure that it's not, I know that the team is not like in-house. Oh, Neville wants attention. It's at a different like warehouse or location. So that's probably a factor that could be challenging. Like how often do you go there? Kind of talk about that and what it looks like as you lead them.
Yeah, that's such a good question because it's been a big challenge for us over the years. So now that we've been in business 10 years, I've tried various things over the years. So originally we had a contractual relationship with our teams. So
Mhm.
paying them a living wage, and they set those standards. So they do test logs, they figure out how long, let's say, it would take them to make this tank top I'm wearing, which is one of our products.
Mhm.
They would test it and say, we need to make this much money in order to be paid a living wage per piece.
Okay.
So they set those. And then we started a training program underneath our nonprofit, Maddie Donations. The training
Mhm.
program was called Maddie Makes. And originally we would train women how to sew. Once they graduated, we would then employ them. And that
Oh,
was our thought of one, giving back, creating new jobs,
yeah.
but also we would payroll them
Mhm.
on our team. And so we started then payrolling our sewers at that time.
Mhm.
Didn't work out. COVID happened. We were for rent in a sew area and or like a sewing studio, and
Mhm.
in addition to our store and storage and all that, it was too much to manage. People would get sick and not show up, and it's like we had a whole nother company that we were running. So
Mhm.
we went back to a contractual relationship. That's what we do now. And it works best because we work with two sew teams right here where we are in Kansas City. They're both within 1 square mile of our headquarter, our flagship store.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it's so cool. I go weekly or every 2 weeks, someone from our team, usually me, but we have very close relationships with all of our sewers on each team. And so we're able to go there in person, have conversation with them. And so, yes, I do manage the operations of that. I source all the fabrics, they come in, I make sure,
Mm.
I'll put the purchase orders in and I go back and forth. How are they coming? That kind of thing. But they run their business. And for me, it felt like that was the best way to go about it because they have a lot
Mhm.
of control over maybe other clients that they have and that kind of thing. The one thing, though, I think has made the biggest difference is paying attention to living wages and to putting that in their hands.
Mhm.
Hey, you tell me, what do you need to make in order to get paid a living wage? And I ask for a lot of feedback on design and fit. Hey, how do you guys feel like that worked out? Can we try a new seam here? What do you
Mhm.
suggest? You're the expert. And so
Yeah.
as much as I love to be fully involved in the process and can because all the production is here, um, I also want them to kind of take it and run with it. And I think in leadership, that's a big one. It's don't try to micromanage everything, and the people on your team that have the strongest, um, you know, they do things the
Mhm.
strongest compared to you. You should let them take charge
Mhm.
and go running with it. So at some point, I'm really managing just the flow of the fabric coming in and out, and when do we get the products. And I do all the design, but I really let them take a big role in a lot of the process.
Oh, I love that. I mean, there's like quotes, I think from Tina Fey or somebody that's like, hire great people and then get out of their way.
Mhm.
It's such a good thing. Like, yes, you want to provide support and you need to manage, but like asking them, what do you think could be better here? How, like having ownership and decision making influence over their own responsibilities is a huge factor. And it's funny, I'm actually working with a client right now and we're seeing somebody who's on the best places to work list. So a company that's so they're not competitors, they're totally different industries, but the company I'm working with wants to be on that list. We're going to talk with small businesses that are on it, and one of the like things that we're trying to improve is the fact that people rated it a little lower, that they don't get to like really have a say in what
Mhm.
you're talking about, like their actual role. And so it really matters, and it determines engagement for sure too, and satisfaction, and then you're going to keep your good employees because they feel valued.
That's so true. Yeah. I mean, just to piggyback on that, and they are the experts. I don't have much of a cut and sew background at all.
Yeah.
The head of one of our teams, Laura Treese, who runs a lot of it, she has been a great mentor for me over the years because that is her industry. So she should take that, take charge with that, even down to our employees in the store. and our interns. We'll have free interns or unpaid interns, and that are getting they're getting credit for their school.
Oh,
But
yeah.
we tell them from the beginning, you will take a big role here. We want you to
Mhm.
take initiative on every project you're on, not just ask, how do you want it? How do you want it? Or we're not going to ask you to go get coffee, that kind of thing. You
Yeah.
will lead some big projects. And I think that's super important. And to our culture as a brand, it's been a big one. I think everyone would say that I always ask them their opinion and advice, and I need them.
Yeah, I love that you need them. That's a really important thing too, because it shows that you're humble, you're teachable, and in my belief, that's one of the most important things a leader should be. Because the more like transparent and vulnerable and humble you are, the more respect you're going to get from your team, and it's going to drive them to be more confident in themselves because they see it modeled in you. Because I think that confidence and humility are actually like partners. They're not. It's not the like two different things or two opposites, like it takes a lot of confidence to show humility.
That's so true. And when in past experience, or when you're not the owner of a business and you are the contributor and part of the team, I know from past experience, it has made me think, oh, so cool. I just want to come to work more when I feel like I'm leading a project or whatever. So yeah, just like lead how you want to be led.
Love that. That's amazing. Well, that's awesome. Tell us about like your ethical fashion consulting that you're doing also.
Yeah, so I started this consulting just recently. I just kicked it
Mhm.
off. I've built over 10 years. I've figured out just through Google and advice and being in the industry, learning and listening, and applying how to start your own ethical fashion company.
Mhm.
So we were chatting about this earlier, Haley, but basically the schools, fashion schools don't teach how to start your own fashion brand. They don't really
Right.
teach entrepreneurship in fashion. It's like merchandising and that marketing, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So there's a big missing link there for all the time, monthly, quarterly, sometimes weekly. I get asked from different people in my community or friends of friends, hey, I'd like to start my own fashion brand. How does that look? How do I source the fabrics? Where do I find a cut and sew team? So over the years, I've been just a free um, guide and mentor to people just brands, and I've helped people kick off their brands to going
Mhm.
from maybe just sourcing products
Mhm.
from already made companies to making their own, helping
Yeah.
guide them down the unanswered questions. And so I will still continue to do that, and of course, and be a mentor and that kind of thing. But I
Right.
thought it would be nice and good timing to start consulting where people can pay me for an affordable hour or 3 hour
Mhm.
session to maybe go through initial steps to get them to point A to point B when they have maybe this much funds, to a full on accelerator, multiple week kind of program where we're one on one and I literally help you get your brand off the ground.
Mhm.
So I've learned a lot of things over the years, just have
Mhm.
a lot of knowledge, a lot of teaching that I want to do, and writing a series of books to go along with it to help that.
Amazing. I love that. And I mean, I totally get you. Like, I mean, I got a master's in organizational development and there was a consulting skills class, but it was not at all what I needed to start a consulting business. And I realized that as I was starting the business, I was like, well, none of this is like sales skills. It's not like managing
Mm-hmm.
the client relationship. It was a lot more like internal. And I think that like it's funny sometimes the things that we experience that are so painful for us, like figuring it all out on your own and it taking years and not making the money that you want or whatever. It's like, okay, I want to prevent other people from dealing with the same problems I had. How do I help them have an easier time? And I think that's like cool about even maybe like our generation and stuff, like saying it's not about like, oh, a business opportunity even necessarily. It's like, oh, I want to help people and make ethical fashion a bigger thing so we can raise this horrible 3% that you mentioned. Like, because that's what my dream would be for you. And like my hope for the impact of what you're doing is that like this number gets a three in front of it, or a three behind or a zero behind it or whatever, so it's 30% of them do, and then it's 50%, and you help people grow this number in the fashion industry so that people are making a living wage and we're using more sustainable products and fabrics and stuff like that. So that's amazing. So talk about also, you mentioned a series of books. Talk about is this your first book that just came out?
Yeah, it just came out here. I have it right here. Actually, my first
here it is.
Came in today. So
Yes.
yeah, it's a coffee table book. And basically the point of the book is
Wait, hold it up again. I was moving around the screen.
Here.
I'm trying to get the best. There we go. Okay.
So it's a coffee table book, and it has these deep photo spreads. Here's one of our makers that I was referring to. The whole book goes through interviews with different makers in the industry, even going down to natural dye, which is a big one. A lot of companies don't think about the dye and how harmful that is as well. But basically, I go through the process of making something ethically and how important it is and how little known it is. Like, for example, the table of contents. It talks about the cutting, the sewing, the pattern making, the sourcing, the dyeing. So my goal is we chatted about this at some point, Hayley, but I always want to be a teacher and I want to be a student forever, like a student of the world, always be learning, and then what I learned to pass along. So throughout the last 8 or 9 years where our store has been open, I notice people coming in, consumers that have no idea about the fair wages, don't really know about the clothing that they have that's made with polyester. They don't know about underwear being underdonated. They don't know about natural dyes. They don't know how it works to make something. And neither did I. But I think that I feel as if it's my mission to pass that along to the ethical fashion industry, and really just to improve consumer insight on that industry. If we all know, once you know, and that's kind of my goal, is like, if I can put this in front of people and they can actually see every step that goes into it, would we then value that t-shirt a little bit more if you knew the name of the maker and you knew that all the steps that it took them to make that one t-shirt for you? Would you keep it for longer in your closet? Would you pay a little more for it? Would you have a little more respect for that, content? So these are the questions, kind of like hypothetical questions. So it's really a conversation piece. And that's my first book. I wanted it to be a beautiful fashion book that you can keep on your coffee table and have this conversation with people you have over, pass it along, and tell someone else. But in the future, the series of books I'm working on are how-to books, how to start your own ethical fashion brand, break that down into topics, like one topic at a time, and then do kind of a big mama book. And
I love that.
Stuff like that. And I have tons of other ideas as well. I love to write. And so I'm kind of excited about my book life. But for now, I'm enjoying, everything that it takes to just be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I don't think we should ever stop when you have a gift or something put on your spirit or your motivation. I think it's a duty to follow that through.
I love it. That's awesome. You are so inspiring. I hope that for everybody who's watching now and watches this later, they will also be inspired. Will you hold up the book again and tell us where people could check it out? Probably at Maddie, but where else can they get this? The Art of Ethical Fashion.
Yes, so it's currently on sale on Amazon. It's print to order to keep our waist low. It's also in Maddie Apparel. It's online. It's at Barnes & Noble. And if probably no one in this live stream, but maybe if you have if you work for a larger store, we're on Ingram Spark. So we're libraries and Target, fashion companies, they can go and buy this wholesale. So
awesome.
I know, it's pretty cool. So Amazon, MaddieApparel.com, Ingram Spark, and Barnes & Noble.
Amazing. Okay, well, I'll have you, if you don't mind, put those links in the comments on this video, like when we're done in the Facebook group and the other video and LinkedIn. And that way people have a link so that I just want it to be easy for them to purchase this and for you to get that bag,
Yeah, thank you, Hayley.
And then maybe you can get an ethical bag. I don't know.
Ooh.
Yay. I see that Sylvia's here. She's my bestie from India. She, when I lived in India doing mission work and like aid work, she became my best friend. She's watching on Instagram.
So cool. I feel like you've talked about her before. Hi, Sylvia.
Yeah. So people probably saw the post that I did recently, the GoFundMe. That was for her and her family. Yes. There's a lot of ethnic violence going on. And so for anybody who cares and is interested about that, the GoFundMe is still open for that also. And we're still always taking support. She was definitely my bestie in India. I don't know what I would have done without her. I would have shriveled up because she helped me every way. So well, this was awesome. Thank you for giving your time to talk about this ethical fashion stuff and your consulting. Put the link for that and how people can get a hold of you. Do you want to share the best social media handles or anything for people to also follow you and connect with you?
Sure. That'd be great. My personal is Hayley Santell, Hayley Santell on Instagram. And then Maddie Apparel is just MADI_apparel and MaddieApparel.com. So yeah, I would love to connect with anyone. I'm also on LinkedIn and Facebook. You can find me. Just spell my name out.
Just spell it. We are great. Spell it differently.
Say it again.
Oh, I was saying we are Hayleys who spell it differently. So, don't spell it like me, but
Team Hayley all the way.
Yeah, Team Hayley. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to share this so people can see. Is it showing? There we go. Yes, this is their website. So MaddieApparel.com. Apparel has 2 P's, 1 R, 1 L. I always have a hard time with spelling when there's like multiple consonants or something. But
it's probably a bad move in the beginning. You should not ever have a hard spelling word in your. Sorry, because I know. Hayley, but yeah, that bad move, but we're going with it. 10 years later, it's still doing okay, but yeah, it's always like APPAREL.
Yeah, well, same with mine's Vaxa Collective, and Vaxa is not even English, so yeah, it's kind of silly, but yeah, you can
fancy, this is what happens.
Yeah, well, and, we want people to ask questions, and we want to sound smart, so they do have a store in the airport. Oh, this is you and your mom. How cute. And if anybody likes Bargain Mansions, her parents have an episode on HGTV.
Check them out. They're really cute.
Oh, that's so cute. I loved that episode. Didn't they get like a pink couch or something?
Yeah, so adorable. They didn't actually get those. It was staging, but they made my mom stand on a box like this tall because she's such a tiny tot.
That is adorable. Oh my gosh. Oh, I always wonder about the furniture. Is it just,
Most of it was staged. They bring it in, and some things they, I guess, gift or, their clients will provide a table and it stays in the home, or lighting, that kind of thing. But for the most part, furniture, they pull it in and pull it out.
I see. Yeah. I kind of wonder about that sometimes because their stuff is so beautiful. I'm like, well, is that included in the cost? I've been watching a lot of it, But cool. Thank you so much. This was awesome. People connect with Hayley. She'll put her links there for the book and everything. If you live in Kansas City, definitely check out Maddie Apparel, Slow Motion Goods. It's on Summit, right? Down in the west side.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Right by my favorite restaurant. That's why you see me all the time. West Side Local. Get the kale salad. I've had dreams about it. It's so good.
Won't go wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, yeah. Well, thank you so much. This was awesome.
Good to see you. Thank you, Hayley. And thank you, everyone. Hopefully I get to meet you soon.
Yes.